the signal just like...
That's true, yeah, they're right over there. No, we're very ready to talk about this game. Whoa, SKT. I mean, that was pretty fast. What happened there?
RNG went on vacation.
That wasn't even good.
All right, cool. Now that we got that out of the way.
Out of the system.
For realsies this time.
Great adaptation and pick and bans from SKT. First of all, they understand that they're trying to target trying to target Duke, so like, save his pick for last, you know? Wait and see what happens. The Azir pick as well here is so good because we knew Sivir was going to be locked in by SKT when we saw the 280 carry bans.
Right.
Then the Azir comes in because they see Ryze. Now, obviously that's a matchup we've seen quite a few times. They expected to be Ryze mid lane at this point. So when they then take Elise with the Azir, they can actually match the early game. Ryze only wins the lane, same for LeBlanc, if they can all in. It's very hard to all in when there's an early jungler who can fight for river control and also match the Kindred early game. And that actually allows Faker to play much more aggressive in lane and win the lane.
It also meant that Duke and Wolf in particular could bring a lot more utility to these fights, where if it's close fights and you don't always have to run, you can play a little closer. And Wolf had some really awesome silence fields for me. Every time Xiaohu either went in, he got silenced, then Duke tried to pin him into a wall. They were working together right now because they weren't as far behind as they were in game one, and they could actually use the champions to their full benefit. Obviously, the fight that was very eagerly engaged by RNG later on kind of gave him the game as well. But they played a lot better. And Faker, for me, the change from week 1 to week 2 is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, the individual improvements in this game were definitely there for Faker and for Blank. But also, what is really interesting to me is how SKT are so wholly focused on the team overall and the team fight that they're willing to just have Duke and you say, you know what?
Every time, yeah, you go for it, man.
Go ahead and take that, Poppy, because we're going to have a tank. They basically set up a raid group. We have our main tank. He's going to be a full tank. We have our 2 DPS. We actually even have a healer in this one. and then we're just going to play our team fights, and we're going to do them well. And Duke, you know, sorry if you're going to lose that 1 versus 1. You have to fight Ryze as Poppy. That's not fun, but he's going to take one for the team.
At least this time they got the lane swap off. Yes, RNG match, but it cost them a lot of momentum there, and that just got Duke through the early levels decently well. Then he went to lane. He got like, what, 10, 20 CS down, but with good river control this time, as the official pointed out earlier, they managed to survive, and then obviously strength in numbers. They played around the LeBlanc very well. Xiaohu was never allowed to really go for his signature flanks, and honestly, he got 1v1 in the mid lane at once too.
But Fisher, I want to talk about this lane swap because RNG does something that's very different from what any other team does.
Right.
It's a half lane swap because the turret doesn't actually go down.
It's a lane swap, so it started originally when they wanted to dodge around strong level 1 and level 2 compositions or combos in the bot lane in terms of 2v2. It is now involved into just one of their preferred ways to actually lane swap full out, where they
lane swap pull out.
Basically, like they fast push the bot lane at first, and as soon as it hits the tower, they just instant recall with both Mata and Wuxx, and then they rush to top lane. So the goal is that they get all the minions when pushing in, and they still manage to catch some of the minions where the other team has pushed them into tower. Okay. Now there's a lot of risk involved, and the problem also in this game and them swapping into 2v2 is that actually they lose the 2v2 in terms of push. And we talked about the mid lane, how LeBlanc needs to have the vision control to all in. But when you lose the top lane 2v2, you lose the river. That means Elise can set up the vision in the river. That means Faker is safe. And then also this TP LeBlanc, because yeah, you thought it was going to be like more of a scaling matchup in a sense, or that he was going to run cleanse and therefore he couldn't run ignite, and that's when it goes wrong.
Yeah, so ultimately SKT has some decent control over the early game, but now I want to jump forward to that fight you were mentioning, Crepo, where RNG kind of eagerly engages and they lose it only 14 minutes into the game. That's not quite it.
They lost before they even got in.
Here it is.
We're in the fight right now. Malta has already flashed in and gone for an aggressive pickoff, but I feel like RNG forget that they're playing against Elise. Blank does a really good job buying a lot of time, and then suddenly Kindred drops in one sweep combo.
Yeah, this is purely just a mistake from Kindred here, and this is something we have not been used to seeing. Mlxg, he waits around on the edge of the repel so that Elise can drop on him, get the execute, plus Faker finishes off with an easy kill. And as you said, Blank buys more time with repel than Kindred would be able to with Kindred ultimate in this one.
And then the TP from Duke actually was a little late still, so SKT is still working on that problem. At least he's TPing into good fights now instead of horrible TPs in game 1, so we're seeing progression there. But yeah, RNG, they're very decisive, and when Mata calls somebody, they go ham for him, but that was almost too much. Flash to get a better angle on the Braum ulti, then get back out. Xiaohu couldn't enter that fight. Blank did a fantastic job buying time, but even if he dies a little sooner, I feel like that was a bad fight.
To be fair, if you are RNG and you say, let's not take the fight, let's try and maybe wait for next one and next one and next one. You look at SKT's composition with the Azir sitting there, you're like, we don't actually want to go late game against Azir, Soraka, and Sivir and take these team fights. So they were kind of like, we need to try.
Right.
You know, maybe there's only 10% chance it works. If it does, we're back in the game. If not, well, the game ends in 22 minutes.
Yeah, they lost the fight not for lack of commitment or anything like that. Yeah, never on the side of effort. But with the series tied up 1-1, we need to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere though. Game 3 is coming your way in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Mid-season Invitational 2016 semifinals. Game 1 went to China's Royal Never Give Up. Korea's SKTelecom T1 looking to turn this best of 5 around as the coaches shake hands. Chinese team's a big stun, and Amata gets a summoner heal and says, I have nowhere to go. But it's a Soraka by Whoosh on to Bang. Can he out damage and a great silence comes out? Wow! Mata forced to be pulled back. Bang on the wings. Wolf near there as well. Attack on the side. A great knockback from Faker buys the time. A huge knockup as well. And they're going to start picking up kills. Bang gets one. And all the kills are coming through 4 already. Make that 5. It's a slaughter. It's a beautiful win for Korea's SKTelecom T1 to tie up the series.